All right. Welcome. Might go on camera. Manage that. All right, cool. Hi. So, welcome to the AU Core Connectathon track kickoff. Um, I'm Brett Esler. I'm one of the track leads, and we have Marvin as also and Jamie here helping run this track. So just confirming this is for the Connectathon running on Wednesday 11th and 12th of March in Sydney. So, yep, go get your tickets if you haven't got one already. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the lands on which we meet today, elders past and present, and give my respects to them. So we have three track leads here. So there's me, Brett, Marvin, Malcolm from Telstra, and Jamie Murdoch from the Spark team. And we also have some helpers on the day. We have Danielle, Shelley, and Kyle, who will be help collect information and help us track what's happening on the day. As well, yeah, it's good. I think we have just an agenda of things to get through. So just some intro descriptions and some info on the breakouts running through the Connectathon as well, and a few pointers at where to find tools and useful information. So our goals, as per usual, Connectathons are really just to get the implementers together, particularly look at AU Core and what we can provide around that. We also have some particular missions to investigate the implementation around particularly healthcare service to try and flesh out our maturity story to make sure we are covering all of the resources defined. And, you know, really it's a good chance for systems to connect with each other, do some testing, and basically check that AU Core is functioning as we expect. So if you're new to Fire Connectathons, there's a good chance to get across the specifications and understand a little bit about fire in Australia. If you have apps, client or server apps that you want to bring, you know, this is an opportunity to connect with others and also some of the test framework to prove out that you can do AU Core well. Or if you have any AU Core data that you want to test and check, that's a good opportunity to have a look at that. There's also, if you are perhaps using AU Core as the basis of your own Fire AG, you can certainly bring it along or have intent to use AU Core in your Fire AG. It's a good chance to come and discuss the ways to do that, and also essentially check out your own implementation. So as far as activities going on, there is a live agenda running on the Connectathon pages, the summary of that. So we do have kickoffs. So we have some kickoff activities at the start of the first day of the event, and then off into the Connectathon tracks. So as well as the main room running Connectathon AU Core connecting. So we'll have people there looking after that group, Marvin and Jamie. We're also running a breakout specifically on for new starters. So AU Core 101 is running over 2 sessions before and after morning tea. That's a good chance to take a look at the AU Core at the first time and get a bit of a feel for where it fits in the Australian standard space, but also get started maybe implementing something. So this is good if you don't have a system to test or implement. Michael Lawley is going to be there helping us set up an AU Core capable fire server from scratch. So that's using some of the nice off-the-shelf tools we have. As well as that, we have all through the day the ability to include AU Core connecting. So we're hoping to have people testing, connecting all day through that period. And in the last session, we'll be looking at trying to round up collecting information on what has happened on the day and get some information on that. As well, in the last session, we're running a breakout, particularly on some identifier type usage in Australia. That's coming from the firework group, but it's certainly relevant for AU Core as well, if there's some interest in that. And then there'll be a little wrap up, but that will be pretty brief before we head off into the evening. Day 2, there's again a kind of quick kickoff for the day just to check in where everyone is and how we're going, and then we continue on all day. So pretty much throughout the day, there is going to be connecting in the main room, and we'll be supporting that activity and trying to find out information about that. In the morning, we also have a hot topic on Fire IG authoring. So if you're interested in Fire IGs, that's a good session to come to attend to learn something about the state of the world in terms of IG publishing, but also help get the community together, answer questions and find some things around that. As we kind of coming towards the end of the event, we'll be going around trying to collect as much information as possible about the connections that have been made and the extent of the information and the data that's been shared throughout the event, and try and summarize that. In the last session, we have a group photo, which we usually do at every event. And then also we have an opportunity to report out from our track. So we have a limit of a couple of demonstrations from the group. So if that is you, we will probably ask you to do that, and we'll kind of prepare something for that last report out and hopefully do some demonstrations. And that's the end of the event. So with that, we have a set of information attached that can help you at the event. We have a link particularly there to the AU Core track in particular. There is a heap of information on that page about what things to do, and also details about various public servers that we kind of supply as part of the event. There's a reference there to the specifications of interest. So AU Core R2 is published and is the current working standard and the last version that's been published. So that's the one we'll be using for the event, and that relies on AU Base 6. So that's relevant as well. There is a Zoom thread for the track. So any questions before or during or after the event, that's the place that communication can happen. If you're looking to connect with someone on the day, or just want to find direction, that's a good place to put your messages. So for any new participants, some background in the fire specification and the AU Core IG link there are super helpful, because obviously that's what we're mainly talking about. So in AU Core 101 sessions, there's some familiarity is good, but if you bring something to play with, that is really what Connectathons are about. So something like a client such as Postman that lets you interact with a server, or some other development environment that you can certainly test things out with. That is ideal, and that's we kind of expect you to come prepared and ready to do that. And there is a newcomer orientation recording there, so that might be a good thing just to get across getting started. So in the main room where the AU core testing is, we have the kind of roles that we will be testing. We have an AU core responder, which is your typical kind of server role where you're producing AU core content, AU core requesters that are requesting that content and receiving it, and also the ability to look at testing data only, so profile only content. So if you have data but no kind of interactivity available, that's a good way to go. So basically, to really participate, you'll need a test environment that you can kind of bring to the event and make available. There's no connecting directly within the room. We don't have a facility for that. So you'll need something that is on the internet and can be accessed publicly, or with some credentials that you'll need to provide on the day. That is kind of a setup that's needed to actually participate effectively. So make sure others can access your server. It is possible to manage authentication and things like that, but you'll have to do that with the other participants to make that happen. So talking about AU core profile only testing, this allows you to essentially provide, cut and paste instances of AU core data and be able to test those. So we have the ability to validate your data against the specifications directly. That's a good place to start if you don't have a full file server kind of capability. And certainly we can help you out if you're trying to kind of try out AU core that way. The typical AU core responder cases, this is pretty much we're expecting you to behave like a file server, be able to receive AU core requests and respond to them. With that, it is possible to test your file server with the Inferno AU core test kit. So that's the standalone testing facility. So you can point that at your server and get some report back on your capability and also things that are passing or failing with your implementation of AU core. So that's been a popular thing in the past, and gives you a way to test your server directly, and there'll be people there to help support that through the day if you have questions or want to discuss the outcomes of those reports. We also will be looking at improving our knowledge on some of the maturity of some of the profiles. We're particularly looking at still looking at AU core healthcare service profile implementations. We have some missing elements that haven't been tested very much in previously, so we're looking for participants that are implementing healthcare service telecom as one of the elements, and that's something we'll be trying to track through the day specifically to find more people to implement that and improve that. And we also have regular inter-participant connecting scenarios. So these are the chance to find people to connect to your servers, and you can test your server compatibility with other client systems that are going to connect into you and retrieve data. So that's a good opportunity to kind of get interested connectors to know about your server and also test it out. Requester is the other side of this. So this is more the client requesting AU core data. We have a existing Fire server that has some test data loaded. That's an open server that you can use to test out your clients. So you can make AU core requests and get some data. That includes not just the examples in the spec, but also other test data from the Spark test data project. So that's a useful resource if you just want to have a server that is fully functional and you want to test it out. We, again, are still looking for maturity of a healthcare service. So we also need the requesting cases for people requesting that data. And you're also part of the inter-participant test scenario. So anyone implementing a client, it would really keen to know about your AU Core capability. So particularly even those in the Smart App Launch track, we're interested in what calls your apps are making and if you're using AU Core to retrieve your data for your application purposes. Right, so there's a big list here of servers and other resources. So we do have two Fire servers available. There is there's the Spark Fire server, which has current versions loaded. In this case, there happens to be the latest release, so AU Core R2 2.0 will be is loaded on that server, and that's available for testing that. And similarly, we also have the HL7 Australia reference fire server, which has the approved standard loaded, which is currently AU Core R2 as well. So in this case, they're running the same data content, but gives you a couple of options to connect to. We also have the test terminology server. That's the sparked one there. That's supplying current terminology. So that's actually another place to do validation, but also to specifically get information about terminology. Yeah, if you're interested in those cases. There's a page there for registering your servers and clients for the event. So there's a page there where you can leave your details, your endpoints, and any details people need to connect to you. Yeah, so we really would appreciate you filling that in just to let everyone know you exist and how to connect to you, and also as a record of who was participating on the day. There's a number of pages to support the event. These are links through to the Confluence pages for those. There's various pathways there to test using some of the available servers and the Inferno test kit. So yeah, if you want to get into that, there's a lot of resources there to get across. Public test data, I've just kind of talked about that with the test data server, but there are particular projects available to get test data. So that GitHub repository for the test data project has all of the raw test instances. So that's something that if you're interested in loading test instances, that might be a great resource. And also the examples that are supplied with AU Core in the spec itself. So reference there. And we have the test kit available there. Yeah, so that's, again, if you want to do Inferno testing, you can choose the AU Core testing suite. So if you want to get the most out of the event, what will you need to have? Basically, yeah, be prepared, bring your systems, bring your ability to connect to others. If you want people to connect to you, you'll need to explain to people how that's done, register your endpoints, and provide an entree into how to do that. And of course, on the day, there'll be plenty of chances to talk to each other, arrange connections, testing out things that you might like to test out, but also, hopefully learning some insights and seeing, how well you're going with your connections. It's important to know at a Connectathon, it's not a testing event. It's actually a connecting event. So we're really we're not recording successes and failures with connections. People are at different stages in their journey. So perhaps some people are just getting started. Some people have early spec systems and some of them are quite advanced. So we really are just there to support each other and try and improve our knowledge and capability wherever we are. So yeah, feel free to connect with others, ask questions, and try and improve your systems as much as you can. And so really you'll need to be prepared. So we kind of expect you to bring systems, the ability to support those systems and provide them to others. if you want to bring a whole dev environment and fix things on the day, that's a good way to do things. And that's a chance to kind of have a bit of a working day, improve your systems and help get to a better place. So just to note, the breakout sessions, went through these before. These are the key ones we kind of have highlighted as of interest currently. The agendas are up. There may be some additions to this as well, but we definitely have a Core 101 in 2 sessions. So if you're getting started, that's the place to be. We have some more detailed discussion on data type profiles, which is maybe relevant to AE Core. So that might be an interesting session if you're into that. And we have our IG authoring hot topics session, which is all about IG authoring, if that's your interest. And there's a link there to the breakout pages with some details for each of those. Cool. I think that's about it for that. Were there any questions?
Thanks, Brett.
That's good. The only other thing that may be relevant is to maybe note there is a Zulip page available, and I'll make sure that this gets onto the slides. But there is a specific track for the AU Core Connectathon. So yeah, if there's any questions or pre-event stuff or during the event, this will probably be the channel where we can kind of share information, and it might be a good place to connect directly if you need to with others. And yeah, so if you're not already signed up, it's chat.fire.org. And yeah, you'll hopefully find this on the Australian channels as the AU Core track for Sydney. And that's probably all I have to say. Any other things worth noting? I don't hear any. Well, thanks very much. This recording will go up, and yeah, feel free to contact me if you need any assistance, or ping us on the Zulip channel. That would be ideal. And we hope to hopefully see you at the event.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you, Brett.